What's going on, everybody? Hopefully you guys are all having a wonderful day. Thank you for tuning in to Kinsei Gaming. I am Kinsei, and today we are doing Battlefield Talk. Well, we're going to talk about Battlefield, what's going on in the Battlefield scene, and I'm going to be doing that with my friend, the Monkey 12B. So he will be here. We'll be discussing our opinions from the PS4 perspective, which is my perspective, and then the PS5 perspective, which would be his because he's on the PS5. We're going to give a little insight as far as what we've noticed, what we've run into from different sides, given the different capacities of the game. And then we're also going to discuss the weapons and what we think about the weapons. And then we'll go on to what we hope for the future as far as what could be fixed. And we'll also discuss what they've attempted to fix as well. But we will be going over that today. So let's get it started. Monkey! How's it going, man?
It's awesome.
Hell yes.
It's a great day.
I love it. I'm glad you're having a great day. That's how we like to start the days off, especially on a Monday, because some people get into those case of the Monday jitters, you know?
Benefits of being a retired monkey.
Yeah, sometimes you have. I love it. Those benefits of being a retired monkey. Dude, what was it like being in the zoo?
It was interesting.
It was?
But yeah, absolutely.
Did you feel like you were captive, or did you go on your own free will? I think that's the question we all want to know.
Now, see, sir, I am the alpha monkey, so like I just kind of ruled the zoo. Let me do my
so
thing.
You made the lion your bitch, is what you're saying.
Yes, absolutely.
And they're like, you're not the king of the jungle, I'm the king of everything. And did the lion bow down like Lion King? You know how like the opening scene where all the animals bowed down when Simba?
He started to, and I told him he didn't have to do that and embarrass himself in front of everybody.
Man, what a noble monkey.
Yes.
I love it.
I'm changing my name to
the noble monkey. Yes, I love it. Oh man, what the amount of humbleness right now is exceedingly great. I don't even know what to do with myself. Oh man, but yes, I'm really excited to discuss Battlefield here and kind of get our insight as far as what we've done or what we've noticed as far as the mechanics, the overall gameplay, weapons, and what we think about the game and what could be fixed about the game and how that could look for the future. Because it's going to be interesting hearing from both sides because everyone has a different side perspective. And of course, this is going to be from the PS4 and PS5 perspective. So I can't necessarily say how Xbox or PC is being affected. I know, again, everyone's dealing with their own set of issues and or likes about the game. But yeah, so let's dive into it, man. Overall, let's start off with initial thoughts so far. What are your initial thoughts as far as overall gameplay thus far with the early access? And of course, it's not launch. We're just discussing what we think about the early access.
Well, first off, I'm on PS5, and just so you have a relative idea of if I'm saying I have issues and you're on a 4 and you're not having the same issues that I am. And beyond that, I've been playing Battlefield since PS2. Never played it on PC, but started playing online on PS2, so I've been playing Battlefield for a good while. But my first impressions, early access, beta, all of it was serious Battlefield 4 vibes. It felt, and I've heard other people say this, but it felt like a love letter to Battlefield players. And to me, I don't think it's a love letter. I think it's an apology letter.
There you go. That's a good perspective.
Come back to me. Battlefield 5, they could have done so much with it, and we're not talking about that now, but I think for the most part, it's off to a decent start.
And we could talk about anything Battlefield. It doesn't, like, if you want to do comparisons to the other Battlefields or see, like, what you've noticed in comparison to, say, Battlefield 5 or Battlefield 1 or even Battlefield 4, like you've mentioned how there are some Battlefield 4 vibes with it, and it's like an apology letter. That's super important as well because, again, you have to tie in those other games to get that understanding of why it's an apology letter.
Well, Battlefield 1, they didn't do a bad job at it. It was still a Battlefield game. It still felt like Battlefield. It was just a
Hmm.
different era. So it was a different type of
Yeah.
game. The flow of the game was different. And then Battlefield 5 was, I believe that's what they're apologizing for. That's what they're trying to get core players like me and you back. Um, they had Battlefield 5, and by the time they actually made it decent, nobody would play it anymore. Um, I mean, this discussion's been had over and
Yeah.
over. But my biggest thing with Battlefield 5 was when they put out the Pacific maps, that felt like Battlefield. There was vehicles. I mean, it was a flowing type of warfare. And then they said, "Okay, we're done,"
Yeah.
and then they walked away. And I think if you're gonna have a World War II game, you need to visit some very famous battles to do it any kind of justice. And I think they just absolutely did a horrible job on that side.
Yeah, do you feel like they lost players as a result of that, and that's why this apology letter or Battlefield 2042 is that apology letter because they realized like, oh wow, and you think that's why they walked away? They're like, okay, we're gonna take this, we're gonna cut this as a loss, and we're gonna have to really focus on making our next series or our next game a good one to make up for what that game lacked for Battlefield 5.
Um, I think there's a couple parts to it. Battlefield 5 became political right off the bat, and I don't care where you stand politically, but I mean it's a video game.
Mm.
Do we really need politics? We're trying to escape the world. We're trying to get away from it. I mean, nobody is playing games for the reality of playing games.
No.
It's our escape.
Yeah.
So we don't want the politics. Just give us a game.
Yeah.
If you're going to make it in World War II, most people would like to see it somewhat historically accurate. They don't want to see sci-fi stuff in World War II games. That's kind of how the Battlefield community is. We're more of I'm not going to say realistic because I mean it's pretty arcade.
Yeah.
The realistic style.
Realistic-esque.
Yes.
I can see that because I would consider Call of Duty more arcadey. There's a more arcade arena shooter where this is going to be the more sandbox shooter.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm talking, and right now, Battlefield is fighting for playtime versus Hell Let Loose. For me, at least, they're two completely different style games. Just Hell Let Loose is very hardcore. It's not easy to pick up, where Battlefield is a good bit easier to pick up. So I have that perspective of I've got two sandbox style military shooters vying for my time right now. And when you see what a AAA studio could do versus what a indie studio, I mean that's just really that's a lot to Team 17 and Hell Let Loose, but you get what I'm saying.
I mean, I'm sure it took them a lot of time and effort to make that game, just like any other game. But it is interesting to see how an indie studio does in comparison to these AAA studios. And I think that's our biggest gripe is with these AAA studios and why they have the resources, they have the money, but they are releasing semi-broken games. You saw it with Call of Duty. You saw it with Cyberpunk. You saw it with Call of Duty almost a couple occasions now already in less than 2.5 years. So it's like, man, that's 2.5 years. Maybe it's like, I think you watch like Insurgency come out. Insurgency was pretty decent for an indie company. I'm not comparing it to Hell Let Loose because I don't have Hell Let Loose. Just so you guys are aware, Hell Let Loose is for PS5. I think PC as well, but PS4 obviously can't.
And Xbox as well.
And Xbox Series X, but not the not Xbox One or PS4. So next gen systems. But based off what I've seen, because Monkey has a YouTube, if you want to shout that out, where people can find you for your YouTube.
Yeah, I'm just the monkey the _monkey_12B. Same on my Instagram, everywhere else.
Perfect. Yeah, you can check that out and watch his videos. The video that he has of Hell Let Loose is awesome. It makes me really want a PS5 or any next gen or updated system in that, for that matter, in order to play that game, because the game looks so good. It's just the amount of realism in that game, and like, I know you said, because we were talking earlier, and he said that one of his buddies stopped and looked. Do you want to tell the story? Because you have it, you know it best as far as the graphics are concerned.
Oh, he got on. We got on Hell Let Loose last night, and it was the first round he had ever played with me. And just a little patch of woods we were running through, and he stopped, like in the game, stopped. Kind of, I see him looking around, like, and he says, "Wow, what are you doing, man?" He goes, "This actually feels like I'm in the woods right now."
Yeah.
The graphics are amazing.
Yeah, and it look amazing. You can tell that just from the video that you provided. I don't even think that was what was that, a 1080p video?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can only imagine how that would look like live if you're playing in 4K. Because it does have 4K capabilities.
Yeah, I believe that game is.
Okay,
4K.
cool. That's even better.
I believe. I'm not positive, but I believe it is.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Now, what are your initial thoughts as the overall graphics for this game? Do you enjoy how it initially looks?
This game visually is stunning, amazing. I mean, I don't think anybody could bitch at all about these graphics. I mean, it's just the ray tracing on it, the shadows. I noticed the shadows a good bit. It's like the game I'm playing right now. It's raining, and you can see the rain hitting the ground. Just water reflecting all the lights. It's
That's pretty sweet. See, I don't think we get that. I think some of the graphics that we have here on the PlayStation 4 are very well done in comparison to maybe other games that are on the PlayStation 4. I feel like what I'm seeing here, what I'm experiencing now, there are some rendering issues. I will say that. But besides the rendering issues, I really can't complain about how the graphics look. My biggest, for me, what makes or breaks graphics is if you can look at the water. How does the water flow? How does the water reflect light? And I think that's my biggest thing for what makes a game, how I can tell if the graphics are decent or not, in my opinion. Because I think like getting the flow of water is extremely hard to do, and getting the water to reflect light a certain way, because water will reflect light in different ways. So I think getting that down really helps a lot. Because, I mean, you can make a face look real, but can you make water move like water? If that makes sense.
It does. The as far as graphics go, I mean, like I'm looking at a spot and you can see the wind pushing the water across the puddle there.
See, that's pretty sweet.
The only thing that I could bitch about as far as graphics go, it's raining right now and the rain hits the concrete but not the puddles.
That's okay. See, that's a perspective that you notice. That's interesting with the graphics. So that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing. That's good.
But I'm not going to hold it against them, because it's still, like I said, it's amazing. Those are minute details, and we're just getting into the next gen.
Yeah, that's very true. So there's gonna be some things that they can fix and tidy up. So besides the graphics, how do you like the movement mechanics as far as the players are concerned? The way you sprint, how there's the different features. You can just do a regular running sprint, or you can actually sprint.
I didn't know you could sprint.
Yeah, if you double click on L3.
Yeah, I just did that. I like the movement for the most part. I like the movement in Call of Duty. It's very fluid, but Call of Duty has its own speed.
Yeah.
And it's very fast. And a buddy of mine told me yesterday, he's like, I don't like Battlefield because you run like grease lightning. And I mean, it's a truth. I mean, I am running so fast right now.
You really feel like you're running fast?
Oh yeah.
Do you think the FOV makes that the reasoning behind that?
I think it's it's a combination of my FOV being pretty high up there, and then the other part is, and I'm nitpicking here, but I think the frames per second give the effect that you're moving faster, just because it's smoother.
Okay. Yeah.
To where I'm used to playing at 30, and I should be holding pretty steady at 60 right now. I believe is what this game's.
I'm pretty sure that'll make it feel different. That's because I personally don't feel like I'm moving fast. I feel like I'm moving like I would in any other Battlefield personally, from a PS4 perspective. I can see where others might, because I also heard that people feel like it's like Apex. Because Apex is very fast movement, like you're sprinting the entire time. But I feel like even though you're running, and if you're running fast, you're still trying to get to certain positions, because there's a lot of, I noticed like certain maps like Renewal and Discarded both have very open areas if you're not in a vehicle. So imagine running across all that open area and not having a solid sprint feature to move quickly.
See, yeah, I get that, but that's where I can really give it to DICE, how they handled the vast maps. The whole feature of being able to call in your squad vehicle.
Yeah.
I mean, that to me is just, I love that. I think it's great. You rank up enough, you can call in tanks.
Yep, I think that's actually pretty sweet. I love that feature. You know what? With that, I'm going to call in my Ranger.
I need a Ranger. Dropped at my marker.
So, here's another thing. So, with being able to drop in those items, like I just dropped in a Ranger, and I noticed that it's titled Drone. Now, with it being titled Drone, do you think they're going to have other drone-like features come into play? Like drone, like, if that makes sense? Like if...
Like a UAV?
No, like, so for instance, a Ranger is considered a drone.
Yeah.
So do you think they're going to add something else, like a flyable drone, like you can throw up in the air? Like the, what was it called? The UCAV?
Yeah.
Or what was it called?
Yeah, the UCAV and the UAV.
Yeah.
The UAV was the one that the sniper had, and you could tag everybody, and...
What was the one with the plane that could, you could send like...
That's the UCAV.
Okay.
That had an explosive?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the UCAV. Man. I see them changing more skins.
I can help.
They're gonna have to figure out a way to monetize this game. And
I think that's gonna happen. Like you're gonna see that store pop up as soon as the game releases.
Yeah, I don't. Cosmetics, I don't care about. But with the specialists, I see it being pay to win. Because some of these specialists can do stuff that, I mean, the guy with the wingsuit, or the chick with the wingsuit is one example. But I mean, that's my opinion. I don't think there should be specialists in this game.
Yeah. I don't know, but I think they all have their own. So the wingsuit doesn't really bother me. The grappling guy just reminds me of Pathfinder. So that's the only thing, because I'm just like, The specialists don't bother me. I don't really see an issue with the specialist, but I don't like the fact that there isn't, like they did America versus Russia, but everybody has the same specialist on both sides. That's like, what? Yeah, how does that make any sense? So that
It's.
I was just gonna say, just that part. Just if you're gonna have specialists for the U.S., you need to have specialists for the Russia side. But I don't. Yeah, I don't know. I think the specialist thing is kind of weird, but I'd rather see like U.S. soldiers and then Russian soldiers.
my big issue with the specialists is just they're going to use it for monetary reasons.
Yeah.
For monetization, microtransactions.
Yeah.
So I think it's gonna. They're trying to stay away from like the premium like it
Yeah.
used to be, because they were separating the player base with the haves and the have-nots.
Yes, I can see where that could be mistaken as a have and have not for the people that can't afford that.
So I understand that part, and I've got an issue with the specialists.
Yeah.
I hate not being able to just by looking at someone telling which side they're on. I hate
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then kind of going into that, the armor is one thing that I absolutely hate in this game. Just no external markers as far as the guy you're shooting at having armor. So if you're in that position where you can see his gun and you know, hey, if I can get 2 shots out before he gets his first one out, I'm definitely going to win. Your first 2 shots do nothing but touch his armor.
Wait, you don't get a hit marker indication for you guys? That there's armor?
No, you do. After you already hit it. That's what I'm saying. You don't know anybody has body armor until you're hitting them.
Which makes sense. Just like real life, you wouldn't know somebody had body armor until you start hitting them.
Absolutely, but this is a game.
But you were also saying you like the realism aspect. That's what separated them from Call of Duty.
Okay, so I would have no problem with armor if everybody had
See,
armor.
that would be sweet. But that just goes on to the squad and not having somebody in the squad that's carrying armor.
So, I get it. They're trying to push some team play into it, and
they're making it a little more tactical. Like, you have your set person who has, like me, I'm full health, so don't expect me to drop ammo for you. Like, I'm only dropping health. So, like, and then, like, so for Bala always has ammo. So I know when I'm playing with Bala, there's always going to be health, there's always going to be ammo. And so recently we were playing with Hawk.
Yeah.
And then his uncle. We were playing with them last night in a squad. So, and that's another thing. You were saying that PlayStation 5, you can't squad up.
I'm not saying you can't. It's just extremely difficult.
Okay.
To where it's usually just easier to go play by yourself.
Got you. So that is an unfortunate, I think, issue for the game. So hopefully they get. Do you think they'll have that release? I know they are quite aware of the following. They said they're aware of the Twitter. They're aware of teammate indicators disappearing during the match. Some players may get stuck in the down screen. Challenges progress, not updating until you restart the game. PC performance issues. And I know that they posted some other stuff here recently. They are aware of the crash aspect, and that was posted 1 day ago. So they're aware of the crashing. They've provided an optional update target to resolve related crashing issues. Will be available to all Xbox Series X players starting November 17th as a mandatory update on November 23rd. So that was posted less than 24 hours ago. Per Battlefield Bulletin on Twitter. So it looks like it is being followed and all of that is being monitored. They were also, the Battlefield Bulletin also posted videos that people have sent in of the things they're running into. So I think that helps a lot with people posting their videos. And I think that's the best thing about the streaming world, is that we're able to be like, hey, this is what's going on with this game. You know, here's what's going on.
Yeah.
So I think that helps.
I don't... as far as the launch of it goes, I mean, it's much smoother than some of the other ones.
I would agree.
And Battlefield 4 was unplayable on the PS4 when it released.
Mm-hmm. I heard that's how it was with Battlefield 3, and then Battlefield 4 was the same thing, and look at how monumental both of those are.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at is I actually stayed on my PS3. I had a PS4 and played Battlefield on my PS3 because it was easier to play. And that game turned out to be great. So I would say that this game now as it sits is good, but I imagine within the next 6 months or so it should be a great Battlefield.
Yeah.
At least that's my hope.
And I agree with that. I feel like we're going to see that, like you were saying. I think with them getting ready to update a lot of the gripes that everyone's having with some of the flaws, I think the actual launch on the 19th might actually be a good one. It might, like you're saying, it might actually be a lot smoother than a lot of these other ones. Because one, we get the early access, we get an understanding of. Sorry, I thought somebody was glitching right there. I'm playing the AI as well. I think we're gonna get the people who pre-ordered it, because I think another issue is that a lot of people are kind of like, hey, I'm gonna return this game because everyone's complaining about it. And it's like, man, I wouldn't return the game. Like, the game's not unplayable. The game is way more playable than Call of Duty Cold War. I wouldn't return it. I would wait till launch to see how it launches before you get, because a lot of people are just providing a lot of misinformation. They're like, man, what a failed launch. This launch wasn't good. And it's like, they're already giving it exactly. Shroud was saying it was a failed launch and was going over how it was a failure. And I was like, it's not even launched, Shroud. I get you, like, you're providing misinformation. Like, that's not true.
Yeah, but that's how... I'm not gonna...
Yeah.
That's how people like that get their views, by being negative and by creating controversy. And
I don't think it was a failed one because it didn't launch, and two, how could this game fail when it hasn't launched yet? So that's my thing.
See, I didn't have any issues with the launch at all, other than, like, it took me, I think, 10-15 minutes to get into a game. I played a whole game and then I had issues. So, but the next day I got on, and the only issues I was having at that point was, like I said, just it being difficult to play with my friends.
Yeah, and that can be unfortunate, because you're like, well, there's nothing wrong with playing by yourself, obviously. But the one thing about Battlefield is that the friend aspect and the team aspect.
Yeah. That's
you can't. It's really hard to play some. Let's give Hazard Zone. Hazard Zone, you can't play unless you have a chat. Like, it's just simple as that. Like, if you're playing by yourself, or it's okay if you have a full squad, or you can play with your friends if you have that capability. But if you don't have that capability, and you're playing at randoms, it's hard.
There is a chat. I think it's glitched.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Look in the menus. If you look in the menus, they have it set up so you can switch between team chat, area chat, party chat, and I think there's one other one. I mean, you can switch them up if you look into the options there.
Yeah, I know there's a chat, but you can't use it right now because it's glitched.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's there. So when people say there is no chat, it bugs me a little bit, because it's there. It's just, it's glitched. It's a glitch. It's a non-functioning feature at this point. It has it. It's just not working. I think it's a little misleading because I'm in another Hell Let Loose group, and they were talking about Battlefield, and they said there's no chat in this game whatsoever. I said, and I jumped in, hey, there is a chat, but it's glitched. Something's wrong with it. It's a feature. It's just not working.
Oh, so they actually thought there wasn't a chat?
Yeah.
Oh.
There was no chat.
Yeah, I know there's a chat. I just know the chat doesn't work. But I can see where that can be misleading.
Stay away!
That could definitely. That's like saying the game's a failed launch.
Yeah.
Where it's like, no, that's misleading
But,
information.
I don't know. I think this game has a lot of stuff going for it. They did the whole Conquest solo and co-op.
Yeah.
I love that. It's better than in the past. We've got firing ranges. Firing ranges were great, but it didn't give you that testing that you wanted in real
Yeah.
life.
Yeah, this is actually pretty sweet. This
Real time. So when I jump in there solo, I have the chance to fly whatever I want to fly. Most people, and you know how hard it is to get a vehicle.
Yeah. You know how hard it is.
To practice. To practice. Because if you don't know how to fly a chopper, and you get in a chopper and you're in chat, people are going to scream at you if you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, per usual.
So now there's a place to go where you can fool around, you can figure it out.
In real life time.
Yeah, I do like that.
Yeah, that's a great. I like that as well. I think that's kind of cool, especially playing it right now, because one, I can just chat and bullshit, and we give people some gameplay while also discussing certain aspects of the game. So overall, what do you think about the game modes? Conquest. Have you played Breakthrough, Hazard, or Portal?
I have not. The only one I haven't played is Hazard.
Okay.
Hazard Zone. Just because, like I said, I've been having problems playing with people, and if I go into that, I want to squad.
Yeah, 100%. I would agree with that.
Now Portal. I think Portal is the greatest thing Battlefield could have done. When I go into a PS5 game, and in one day, on my PS5, I can play 1942, Battlefield Bad Company 2, and Battlefield 3 all on the same day on my PS5. Granted, it's 2 maps per, but it's going to give us freedom, because I believe eventually they're going to open up all the maps, and you can just set up your servers however you want them. Well, you can do that for the most part.
Yeah.
Now.
Do you have to pay for those servers?
No, they're free. You can have a passworded server, man.
Really?
Yeah, in the past we always paid for that. I mean, PS3 we had Epic Playground. We had it for a little bit on the 4, and well, no. Battlefield 4 we had Epic Playground for a long time.
Do you plan on bringing that back for the PS5? Or for the 2042, I should say?
Yes, everybody else does this, but you know this. We're part of Epic.
Yes.
Epic at one point was 130 people strong. I mean, we were going into matches with a full team. So I see that being able to happen again in this game, to be able to build the community, and that's been missing for the last 3 Battlefield games. I don't know how many people are going to get mad that I'm including Hardline as a Battlefield game, but it does say Battlefield Hardline. But yeah, Portal is just the greatest thing.
Are you gonna, so when it comes out, are you gonna have that? Are you gonna have Hardline on there?
I'm gonna do an event. Oh no, I hope not. No, I can't say that, because Hardline did have some good maps. Hardline wasn't a bad game. It just wasn't Battlefield. They could have called it anything else but Battlefield, and I think it would have done
Yeah,
right.
that's true. If they called it anything else but Battlefield, it would have been all right. Yeah, that's true. Because it wasn't a Battlefield. That didn't feel like a Battlefield. It didn't. Yeah, I don't know.
Or like a Battlefield game. You know what? Hardline, a Battlefield game, not Battlefield Hardline. And I think it would have done a lot better, honestly.
Yeah, that's a good point. Because you're not slapping the, hey, this is a Battlefield. This is Battlefield. You're like, no, this is Battlefield-esque.
If you're watching me right now, this is Battlefield, man. I mean, just
Yeah, actually, have you pulled up on my laptop so that way you can get some views, help you out.
Renewal is huge, man.
Renewal is one of my favorite.
This is just half the
Renewal is
map.
one of my favorite maps by far.
I'm still trying to figure out how to fly these damn choppers.
So I have 39 kills, 4 assists so far. If only I could play like this with real players. God damn. I'm just kidding. This is good. Like you said, this is good practice. All right, so I have played Hazard. Hazard's nice. I like Hazard. I like the concept of Hazard, but you need a squad. You definitely need a squad. I played Breakthrough. Breakthrough is probably the hardest mode on this whole game. By far the hardest mode on this game. I do like Conquest because just Conquest is classic, and that's what I enjoy to play no matter what. The other ones are just kind of like additions. Where I'm like, oh, I'll try it out, and if I like it, I'll just keep playing it. Like Breakthrough. Breakthrough I like is because it's challenging. It's hard to actually break through. It's hard to do a lot of the things on there that you would like to do because you just get held up. Or if the team's not good enough, you lose. It can be frustrating at times, but I know I was having fun yesterday. I did play Portal. I played all of them except for the Fiesta one because I didn't know what the hell the Fiesta one. So the ones that you could just automatically pick. So that's the one. That's what I did. And I did.
Can you go into the custom game mode?
Yes, I'm so stoked about that. So stoked about it. I found that out yesterday. So yesterday I found out you can go to the custom game modes, and that's why I asked, because I'm like, well, shoot. I was gonna see what you thought about going halvesies on owning a server, but if it's free, then I guess it doesn't matter.
Yeah, they're all definitely free. I'm not gonna say they won't have a paid premium one.
Yeah.
Which I'm kind of hoping they do. That it'll give you a, I don't know, be able to change the banners and stuff like that.
Yeah, that'll be cool. But yeah, so if they do, because I'm gonna see if you wanted to go half on that. Because I was like, shit.
Yeah. Oh, I definitely would.
That would be awesome. There we go. Because it was on deactivate when not showing. Okay. So deactivated because the screen went dark because I'm not like live. So let's talk about the weapons. So what do you think about the weapons? What, in your opinion, for the PS5 would be like the meta for your guys' weapons? Like, what do you think?
One, that there's not a whole lot of weapons. I kind of enjoy that. It gives you a chance to actually practice with some weapons that are, you know what I mean. Where Battlefield 4 had a ton of weapons by the end, which was awesome, but it had a lot. And it was hard to distinguish what was worth using, what wasn't. But now, the meta is the that DMR, man.
The DM7 or whatever it is. Agreed.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, everybody runs with it, so it needs some balancing for sure.
I agree. So that's an interesting thing that you brought up, because I feel like the two top weapons that I've noticed, we'll do top three actually. So the top three weapons I've noticed was the DM7, the PBX, and that light machine gun. For some reason, that light machine gun rips apart. I've been using the M5A3 or whatever it is. Assault rifle.
Yeah.
I've been using that as and I'm just trying to level it up because I want to max it out as far as what I can upgrade for it. And then I'm gonna move to the AK, and that's what I'm gonna do, or I plan on doing.
I've been running, I mean, I like DMRs just because I like single fire. So I was running that for a little bit, and then when I realized everybody was running, I was like, well, let's see what else I can use.
Yeah. Yeah, everyone is using that, though.
So, have you seen any vehicles that you think are OP or anything like that?
As far as the vehicles, no. I really like the fact that you can, like we were discussing earlier, that you can call in those vehicles. What I think is interesting, and maybe you can attest to this, but the fact that you can be on a building and call in a tank on top of a building. I think it's hilarious. That's why I was like, I wonder what his opinion about that is, but I think it's so funny because I was doing that I did it on breakthrough on discarded on the large ship. I brought it on top, and then I was shooting the people in the tower that kept trying to shoot me. I was just like wrecking them until someone blew me up. But I was like, that's wild. I could call a tank on top of a building, and these motherfuckers drop a tank on top of a building.
Yeah,
that's cool.
I mean, it gives those battlefield moments. Is it OP to drop a tank on top of a building? Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah, it is.
But it's Battlefield's that sandbox. Do what you want. Have fun. Here's all these weapons, all these gadgets. Go do warfare.
Yeah. Go do warfare. Go do warfare things in the most craziest way.
So, my bottom line is, I mean, this is definitely a Battlefield game. Like I said, I believe it's an apology letter. If they could fix some of the tweaks, like I said, I think within 6 months it'll be a great game. Right now it's a good game, but I think it'll be great within 6 months.
I like that opinion, man. I like that. Yeah, and I agree with you. I have to say, from the PS4 perspective, I really didn't have much to complain about. It's been pretty smooth sailing for the PS4. Again, I can't say that about other consoles or next-gen systems, but I can say from the PS4 perspective, it hasn't. PS4 Pro, I should also say, it hasn't been that big of a problem. I think it's been really successful. I've been enjoying myself. I couldn't have asked for a better shooter in our current point in time, at least for the PS4. So, because right now it's really hard to play anything. I know a couple people were saying it's hard to play Warzone right now because there's just so many hackers.
Oh yeah, I mean
I do not require aid.
that's just the cost of crossplay with PC.
Yeah, and it's cool. So I'm assuming you're a fan of this console to console thing, then.
Yeah, I've said that from the beginning.
Yes.
If we're gonna do crossplay, I think it should be console to console. I'm not saying you can't have hackers, you can't have cheaters on console, but it's harder.
Yeah.
And if you get caught, it costs you a little.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that by it costs you a little more, like, because it can cost a lot on PC, but like even when they're doing the equipment ID, there's spoofs out there to change the equipment IDs. So I mean, it's where if they did that on a PS5, I mean, they're gonna brick your console.
Yeah.
You're not gonna spoof.
You'll have a nice doorstop.
And then, like I've said to you before, I think console to console is best just because the game, everybody in that game has been optimized to play that game on their given system.
Yep.
Where when you have PC, if I have a $5,000 PC and you have a $3,000 PC, there are some things that I may be able to do that you can't.
Yep. And that's true.
So it's, for me, just not having to worry about that. I mean, that's why I said the console. But
Yeah.
PC someday, but for games like this, I'll probably stay on console.
I like it, man. I like that perspective. I'm glad we were able to discuss Battlefield, our opinions about Battlefield, what's going on. I am looking forward to what they're going to do for the future with Battlefield, and like you were saying, going from that good game to a great game. Me personally, I think it's already a great game. I just can't wait to see how it can become even better. And again, that's my opinion from a PS4 perspective.
That's perspective. Yeah. Because and the one thing I failed to mention, and I wanted to bring this up, is this is the first Vanguard was, and Battlefield was the first true built for the next gen.
Yeah.
And so, for what they're putting out so far, I can take it because it's New Frontiers. We're on New.
Yeah.
But if the PS4 version was a sloppy mess, I would probably be really, really upset because they've had years to figure that one out.
They've had years to figure that one out. Yeah, and they really did have years to figure that one out, and that is correct.
Well, that console's been alive for 7 years. Add 2 years of development time prior to it actually releasing. I mean, you get
oh yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. So yeah. Well, I'm glad we were able to discuss this and dive into that. We literally talked for almost a full match. At least I was. Mine's gonna be a full match. They have 4 tickets left, so. And I'm glad they have the countdown tickets. I feel like there was one where it was different, and I didn't like that. That was one I didn't like. How they had the ticket countdown. But again, that's just nitpicking from something from the past because they have it now, so it doesn't really matter now. But yeah, man. Well, do you have any last words or anything else you would like to say about the game?
No, that was it. I wanted to bring up that it was definitely a next-gen console. And don't be too hard on them, but be hard on
Yeah,
them.
right? I love it.
Hold them accountable, but understand.
Yeah, most definitely. I agree with that because, yeah, they did. I think it's so far pretty good. I can't wait for the launch and what people are going to think about it when they fix some of the minor details that need to be fixed in order for it to be a successful launch.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Well, it was a pleasure. So we are going to end the recording. So I just want to say thank you, everybody that has tuned in and stuck around for this long. Please follow us on our Instagrams and Twitters. Mine's going to be Kinsei Gaming 87. But you guys have most of this information, especially with the start screen. You heard it there. All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in and hanging out. Please tune in for some more discussions. I'm sure we'll have more discussions about future things that'll be happening throughout Battlefield. But don't forget to tune in live. I will be changing my schedule here now that Battlefield is up and running. So I will be on, but throughout the week I'll probably be on around 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time until about 11, and then that'll be Monday through Thursday. Then Friday, Saturday, Sundays will be the hardcore. We're gonna run a few hours and get some games in. But all right, everybody. Deuces.